Good day, humans of the internet. We are back for another Rants and Bants with Timmy. You alright, Timmy?
I am delicious.
Got you saying delicious now.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Today, we are going to be chin-wagging about this little visual identity. That's annoying.
Unprofessional.
Unprofessional. I'm just going to turn that on silent, is what I'm going to do. We're going to talk about... We're not even going to cut that.
No,
this is real life. Real life. Real brand life. We're going to talk about visual identity and a little cheat sheet. And the reason I want to do this is because I think it's really, really important for us all, especially as designers, but also as founders of business and entrepreneurs. I think when we are right at the start of our idea, when we're at the very cusp of an idea, we often make the mistake of panic branding. We often make the mistake of trying to do too much, build the website, build the portfolio, build out the case studies, build the visual identity, give ourselves 700 different types of logo variants, choose 45 colours just in case we sometimes need them. But I think right at the very, very beginning, we can be a lot scrappier. Essentially, what we want to do, especially when we first start when we go from an idea into a business, because it takes a long time to become a brand. We must remember that. I think Phil Knight talked about that with reference to Nike. I think it started off as Blue Ribbon Sports Company or something, and I think he suggested that it was almost 7 years until he became a brand. Do you know what I mean? That's a long time, but that's a slight side question. I'll do another one of these, Timmy, where I talk about the difference between brand and business, or my personal opinion on brand and business. But my point is that when you are first starting out, before you have made a sale, you need to be as scrappy and as frugal and as careful with your money as possible. So what I've done is I put this little cheat sheet together of just some bare minimum sizzle that you could be thinking about as a designer trying to help your client with maybe a small budget, as a client, as a founder who's looking to build their visual identity but doesn't really know where to start or what to do. This might be helpful. So what I've written down here: when you're at the start of your brand building journey, these core elements / rules keep your brand looking and feeling consistent across your website, social media, and anything else you create. I should have probably used the word business there, but again, I'll probably go into this in a little bit more detail as we go. So let's start in the top left-hand corner here with logo. Probably the most asked for, most recognizable part of a business and an eventual brand. It's still the thing that all the clients want. It's still the thing that everybody wants who's starting up a business. So how can we help here as designers? Just some very simple rules for you. You do not have to stick with them if you don't want to, but I think they are pretty helpful. So firstly, let's stick with one primary logo. I know as creative people, I know as designers, we're taught we need a vertical lookup, a horizontal lookup. Maybe we could create some badges. Maybe we could do all this stuff. But when you are right at the beginning, right at the tipping point of, like I said, before you even made your first sale, you don't need multiple options of logos. You don't even need to have multiple places that you put your logo. I just suggest one landing page, one PDF, one social kind of platform, and just focusing there. But essentially, stick with one primary logo is a good place to start. A simplified icon for small areas. I am not into this whole favicon drama. I know many might say it's important, but especially at the beginning, just use a color, just use a shape. As you build out your kind of digital footprint, you might want to try and find some icon, but I don't really care. I don't really care about the favicon. No, Timmy's saying no as well. So don't overthink it. I get so many people commenting going, well, how will this logo work at small sizes? And I go, don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? I really don't. Like 16 by 16 pixel favicon, not for me, son. Do you know what I mean? You'll have to beat that shit out and that one, because otherwise we can't get monetized.
What about the word cunt?
Yeah, you probably can't use that one either. That is, I've said that word on stage a few times, and it's gone down surprisingly well, especially in America, because people think I'm from Downton. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm British. But anyway, look, another simple rule: don't stretch the damn thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't try and make it fit to a shape. Keep it nice and consistent. And also, like, something I do like as a simple rule, like especially on a website or on a social media post or whatever, always try and keep it consistent in its placement. So always top left, always top right, always center, whatever it is, just try and be consistent with the placement. So that's the logo. Now we're going to move on to the imagery. Photography is a very important part of like your visual character, your identity. So it's something that a lot of designers tend to forget about, is photography style. So being really consistent with that is incredibly important. Whether it's always black and white, the mood, the light, like how your products might be shot or whatever. Just making sure it's very, very, very consistent is a really, really important thing for your identity and how you visually come across online. Illustration, again, very consistent. You'll notice with all of these funky, punky MBJ brand bits, it's all very consistent. It's all very similar. It all uses the same colours. It all uses that same quite raw, punky energy. Incredibly consistent to the point now where people already recognise it as mine. It's only been in the world for about 6 months now, so this is a kind of new updated version of mine, but it's an update on all of the other illustrations, like that tattoos, punk, kind of slightly kind of skater dude vibe that I've kind of gone for, but again, keeping your illustration style very consistent. Like I said, with reference to the photography, lighting and style consistency is very important, and like, I really don't think we're in a world now where stock imagery is needed. I really don't. We've got, our phones are so much better than they were 15 years ago. Obviously, like if you want to, you can use AI to create imagery. There's loads of different things that you can use. You can hire like really good photographers, friends who are photographers. Like there are so many ways in which you can get better imagery. Like there's nothing worse than you choosing a stock image and then going onto your competitor's site and them using the same stock image. It's lazy. You don't need to do it anymore. So imagery, super, super important. Now, where should we go? Should we go to colour or should we go to type, Timmy?
Let's go to type.
Let's go to type. That's good, because that's the next one in the wheel. The wheel of truth and justice. Weird. So type. I like to go for one header. I like to call it like this little trio. So I always like to use like one header, one kind of copy, and then one display. So header is for like your big kind of header types, obviously. Then you got your copy font or your copy type direction, which is going to be used for big sections of copy, big sections of text. And then I like to always have like some sort of highlight or some sort of display font, which is a little bit more elaborate, a little bit more jazzy, just so I can use it for highlighting certain elements. So never use more than 3 fonts. Always have one header font, one copy font, like I said, for big chunks of text. And also legibility, that is your main focus, especially at the beginning. Like I've seen some absolutely bonkers type choices and font choices on people's websites, so much so that it annoys me. I literally get annoyed because I can't read it. And as somebody who is dyslexic and fairly stupid anyway, like just the ability, being able to read is tough. Being able to read your stupid type choice makes me angry. So please don't make me angry, because I don't like being angry. I don't drink anymore, so I'm not often that angry. But yeah, I mean, Timmy's face makes me a little bit angry. There's not a lot I can do about that. Right, colour. So, right, again, similar rules. Choose 1 to 3 colours. Do not overthink it. Look, I think there are rules that you could potentially use. Like I've had to create multiple, like sometimes up to like 15, 20 color combinations for certain clients who are established, and they have the use cases and the application that is needed for it. There was a particular theatre I worked with called Ridgefield, and they do a load of different kind of events and things at their theatre, and they have a load of different ways, and they need a load of different colour combinations because there's so often that these posters and stuff are sitting next to each other, so they all need to have some sort of differentiator. So that is the place where I think it's okay. But when you're right at the start, do not overcomplicate it. Just choose maybe one punch colour and then keep the others quite simple. But never use more than 1 to 3. And if you do need like extra versions, I just like to use tints. You'll see in this wheel. So my primary kind of color set for me is like white, black, and then I've got this kind of beigey paper kind of sand color, and then this kind of pop of like funky punky peach, but then if I need to use more, I just use tints of that color. Do you know what I mean? So super important, super easy, and it helps you just not overcomplicate it. Always pick one dominant color. So the dominant color for me is that funky punky peach, and then please, for the love of the Lord Jesus Christ, if you believe in him, do not pick based on trends. There are trends upon trends upon trends. There are people doing trend reports on trend reports now. So please, for everybody's sanity and eyes, do not pick trending anything, because like with any trends, they come and go, and you've got to, whenever you are choosing colours, make sure there's a reason behind it. All right, so my friends, that is today's rant and bant. There's loads coming, so I hope you hate them as much as I hate doing them. All right, love you.